station.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. South Korea says the military drills underway with the U.S. will be shortened at Washington's request by about 6 days. Karen Shamas has more.
South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung said the country's alliance with the U.S. is vital for national security after President Trump abruptly ordered to substantially reduce military exercises designed to sharpen readiness against North Korean threats. Trump cited what he said was a good relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korea's refusal to join the war against Iran. I'm Karen Shamas.
Alaska, Florida, and Wyoming held primary elections Tuesday, while California held a special election to fill Congressman Eric Swalwell's seat after his resignation. In Florida, the November contest to replace term-limited Governor Ron DeSantis will match Representative Byron Donalds on the Republican side against former Congressman David Jolly for the Democrats. Alaska voters are narrowing a field of 16 candidates for a competitive U.S. Senate seat. There are 2 Dan Sullivans, including the current senator, and former U.S. Representative Mary Peltola, a Democrat. The top 4 vote-getters will advance to the general election regardless of party. And Lisa Dwyer reports 14 people have been charged in connection with a drug ring at Penn State.
The group allegedly ran the operation out of 2 off-campus fraternity houses, described by authorities as an upper-level trafficking organization for the area. The drug ring reportedly operated in 2023 and 2024, using fraternity pledges to cut and package cocaine. 4 people face serious charges. Delta Upsilon has been placed on interim suspension by Penn State. The other fraternity, Sigma Chi, is not recognized by the university and not subject to its oversight. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And Liberia has agreed to accept up to 1,200 third-country deportees from the U.S. This is AP News. In Mexico, avocado pickers are back at work after a U.S. security alert halted exports for more than a week. Donna Warder explains.
Orchard supervisor Jesus Mendez says the halt in production had an economic impact on both producers and workers. Michoacan is Mexico's main avocado-producing state and also a region where 4 cartels designated by the Trump administration as terrorist organizations operate. U.S. authorities fully lifted the restrictions after more Mexican troops were deployed in the region. Avocado producer Luis Manuel Soto says more troops bring more peace of mind because he says his life has repeatedly been threatened. He says, I think we can work more comfortably, do our jobs better, and hopefully they will continue providing security so that everyone in Michoacan can move forward. I'm Donna Warder.
There are more stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
It's time to celebrate Haggadah! Join us for the Costuless Haggadah Grand Opening August 28th through the 30th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of family fun with free giveaways, activities, and amazing savings throughout the store. Be among the first to experience a new Costuless designed to bring more value, convenience, and more ways to save. The celebration starts Friday, August 28th. Costuless Haggadah Grand Opening Weekend. Don't miss it.
Explore, snap, and share for a chance to win a round-trip ticket to Taiwan. Join the Guam Photo Hunt and visit iconic landmarks and hidden gems island-wide. The more locations you photograph, the more chances you have to win exciting prizes. Learn more and submit to win online at visitguam.com/photo hunt. Terms and conditions apply. Explore, snap, and rediscover Guam. Brought to you by the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Everyone has savings goals. Whatever you're saving for, Bank of Hawaii wants to help you reach your possible. That's why with our Bank Ohana 12-month CD special, you can earn 3.4% annual percentage yield with a minimum deposit of $5,000 from another bank. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So reach your savings goals with our 12-month CD special.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii. For terms and conditions, go to boh.com/CD special.
First impressions start with a smile. Call the FHP Dental Clinic for quality dental care. Need a cleaning? Maybe a filling or another dental procedure? When you smile, everyone around you smiles. Now accepting new patients. Call 671-646-5825 extension 8562 for appointments. Most insurance plans accepted, including Take Care and GovWam self-funded. Self-pay patients welcome. FHP Dental Clinic. Our island, your clinic.
Hats Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And to keep you cool, Hats also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and based-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
Half a day, I'm Callan Perez and I'm running for senator. Service to our island has shaped my life, from community advocacy and substance abuse recovery to supporting sustainable agriculture. Inspired by my parents, Dr. Perez and Dr. Erickson, I remain committed to serving the people of Guam. I'm Callan Perez and I approve this message.
Hafaday, Guam! The Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association invites you to the Fair Trade Show, Guam's premier hospitality and food service event. Join us August 19th and 20th at the Hyatt Regency Guam from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Experience hands-on training sessions and exciting culinary competitions featuring professionals, apprentices, and pastry talent. Discover new products, connect with suppliers, and celebrate Guam's hospitality industry. Don't miss Fair 2026. Visit ghra.org for details.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
KGUM-FM, Wave 105.1. Let's talk of Guam. It's 2:05 p.m. on this Wednesday, August 19, 2026. And this is your regularly scheduled programming, The Bright Side, with Mr. Pauly Suba. Catch us Monday through Friday between 2 to 6. We are streaming online at thewave105.com, on YouTube, the Wave 105.1 FM Guam, and the Glimpses Radio app. Call us on our studio line 671-922-1051. 1052 for you to join in the conversation. Once again, this is The Bright Side with Mr. Pauly Suba. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to it, another bright side, even though it's not so bright outside. Biba Moss Wet Kalis. It's very wet out there, right? So continue to look out for each other. We do want to thank our sponsors, and that's Chili's Grill and Bar. Chili's, more life. Great food and memories happen here. Micropack, from Bose to Sony and more. Micropack is Guam's home for quality electronics. Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. Triple J. It's big deals on big wheels at Triple J Ford. Save thousands off retail and drive home a new Ford F-150 starting at just $39,995. Visit Triple J Ford today. Customers first. And GTA, we start with you. And like Yuli was sharing, the number is 671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, thewave105.com. as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. And we have the Glimpses radio app that's absolutely free. You can download it now, and you've got all three Glimpses radio stations on one app. That's us, the Wave 105, our friends, Power 98, and Route 99. 2:07 in the afternoon. I didn't realize that they were doing the lottery with the... They were picking numbers, the ballot numbers, right?
Yeah, I saw that too.
I thought that was going to happen tomorrow. I was tracking tomorrow, and so I guess I don't know how to read the calendar because I swear that's what I saw on the Guam Election Commission's website as far as like polling numbers. Maybe that's when they're going to publish the ballot. Maybe that's what I was
paying attention to. Nonetheless, it happened last night, right? So you want number one, right?
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's the first name that's going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, Senator Jesse Lujan, he was the most popular on the Republican side, and he was number one.
Ooh.
Right? He was number one on the Republican side, and he garnered the most votes. Right? But when you really look at the numbers, it doesn't tell you it doesn't tell the whole story. And so that's not necessarily true, right? Chris Barnett on the other side, he was somewhere, I don't know. He wasn't number one, but he was number one. He garnered the most votes in the primary. Senator Teresa Terlai was number one on the Democrat side, and she beat out Josh and Joe. But then Congressman Jim Moylan wasn't number one. It was Mary, right? So this is not going to tell you the whole story, but it still is the one number that you want to pull, right? Just whatever what's the word? Whatever advantage you can get, that's what you want to you want every advantage, right? So Chris Duenas was number one on the Republican side. Then it's Jonathan Savares, Telo Taitagui, Luis Borja, Greg Calvo, Sean Gumatautau, Vince Borja, Shelly Calvo, Hoa Wynn, Will Castro, Jesse Lujan, Sabrina Salas Mentanani, Mateo Mortera, Ralph Scambaluri, and Joe Ariola. That's the Republican side. That's the order. On the Democrat side, it's Donna Muñoz-Canata, Fred Bordalio, Talena Nelson, Quinn Taitagui, Will Parkinson, Captain Ken Cruz, Callan Perez, Anthony Tyron, Roy Canata, Angel Sablon, Amanda Shelton, Angela Santos, Chris Barnett, Sarah Nedadog, and Clint Rigel. Let me see here. For the ballot placements for nonpartisan races for Attorney General, it's Phil Tydinko, Jordan Pauloon, Tom Fisher, Peter Santos, and Doug Moylan. For the Guam Education Board, it's John Titano, Ronald Zuzu, Isaiah Uggan, and then Ron McNinch. For the Consolidated Commission on Utilities, it's Mike Titano, Simon Sanchez, Kenneth Perez, Francis Santos, and Roy Adeney. Now, obviously, there's only one choice to pick now on the Democrat side and the Republican side for the gubernatorial race, so they're both number ones. Tony Ada on the Republican side, Therese Terlai, and Sabina Perez on the Democrat side. I never had the opportunity to ask you how your day went. You do plan on doing the whole general election? It's a Tuesday now.
Yeah, Tuesday, Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can talk about, or
no?
are you sworn to secrecy?
No, I mean it's pretty.
Do you sign a?
You just NDA.
Yeah.
No,
you are not allowed to talk about.
Honestly, it's an easy thing.
Easy $500.
It is. It's easy.
Yeah, I mean you start your day pretty early though, right?
Yeah,
like 5 a.m.
Yep. No, yeah, you got to be there like 5:30.
Oh, 5:30 a.m.
Yeah, you got to be there to collect the ballots. At the precinct, collect your ballots. You already count it, so that saves you time.
Wait. Now, okay, so walk us through this.
Okay.
So you have to go to the Guam Election Commission headquarters?
No, you go to the precinct.
At 5:30 in the morning. Okay.
The bus will be there. The police officer will be there. The ballots.
Where was
there.
your precinct?
Oh, MU Lahan.
Okay.
Because that's Virginia.
Right. Okay. So you show up there at 5:30 a.m.
Show up, grab all your gear. You got to make sure everyone is there. Your
precinct. Team.
Yeah, make sure your team is there. Because I mean, I never had it where.
Are you like the team leader?
No.
Okay.
Everyone is kind of like we're all like the same, but there is one person that kind of like will call. Hey, if there's anything, but we're all like, I guess it's just the title thing, but yeah, we're all like equal. But yeah. You make sure everyone is there because you're like, oh no, where's this person? It's almost time. But I think the only worst I've ever had, the only time I've ever had the worst was just one guy, like, we didn't even open the polls. And he was like, I can't do this. So he just split. And then we're like, hey, we don't have anybody. We were short one man, and they're like,
Oh, then you just called the Guam
Yeah,
Election Commission,
we're
and
just
they
like,
went
hey.
and they called in a
The
replacement,
alternate,
right?
yeah.
The alternate, and then they showed up, and then you guys were good to go.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know. He just like he was there, but then
Yeah.
we didn't even open the precinct, and then he's like, I can't do this. I gotta go. And we're like, what?
It might have been an emergency.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
But yeah,
I
he
mean,
just-
emergencies happen.
That's true.
Maybe his wife was giving
Yeah.
birth to brand new baby.
And we're not. Our precinct is not like crazy once we open. You know, maybe
Right.
about One or
Because
two people. We're not,
7
like,
7
flooded.
a.m. is when people can start to come in and vote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anybody causing a ruckus?
No. Yeah, it's
No?
It's,
Everybody was pretty
it
cool,
trickles
pretty
in.
chill?
I mean, there's some people that do go before
The
their
vibes
work.
were right?
Yeah, we're like, okay. Sometimes we even like, because we're already pre-counted. That saves us a
Mm.
lot of time. So we're just setting up the, what do you call it? The voting booths.
Yeah.
Just set it up. Sometimes we're even like done. We're like, hey, we got the breakfast. Let's go eat breakfast right now.
Because they also provide breakfast, lunch, and
They
dinner,
do,
right?
yeah, they do.
Yeah. And so the line is open until 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Did you have people coming in at the very last minute?
I would say it was mostly the accessible. Because like
Okay,
sometimes
yeah,
a lot
for
of
sure.
people will be there and you're like, okay, now we got to really like monitor that. Because, some of us are inside and we're like, there's not too many people inside, but we're just monitoring that
Sure,
outside,
yeah,
like, hey,
because there's
one
a
person needs to
section,
stand out there.
there's like a parking stall, right?
Yeah.
Where those that need have
The accessible.
yes.
Yeah.
They park in there. They park there, and then you go and you basically give them the ballot in their car. They don't have to get out of the car.
Right.
Okay, so you had a few of those right around 7:45.
Yeah. We're like, oh, it's really getting close. Like, okay, monitor this.
Did you have to turn anybody away?
No. I mean, we were like, I think maybe one person came like 50, and we're like, you know what, let's just count them, but that's it. No more.
750.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
because the
Yeah.
law says 8, right?
Yeah, the law says 8. So we're
So,
like, okay, you're gonna be the last
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just cut it off. But yeah, nothing crazy.
Any
in our
provisional ballots? Anybody that was?
Man, that's the worst.
So you did get a few.
Yeah, that's the worst one. I mean,
Why? What's the process?
First you gotta call. First thing because those are normally the ones where they're not on your listing. Like they changed. They moved, or I think the worst I ever had it was when they started the motor.
Yes, that
voter.
happened to my son.
Yeah, that was. I figured that's the reason. 'Cause
So
I
it
had
wasn't
many.
this primary, but last senatorial election 2 years ago. Right? He did the motor voter. He's like, yeah, I want to register. Yeah, register me
While
to
he's
vote
there, yeah.
while he's at the DMV.
Yeah.
And so they registered him in Tamuning, and that's not where he lives. So
Yeah.
then he went to go vote in MTM, and they're like, "Yo, you're not
on the
on
list."
here."
Yeah.
So instead of doing the provisional ballot, he just went to Tamuning.
Oh yeah, that's the easiest. But
Yeah.
some people are like, "Oh, I'm here."
And so we tried to do it again. So he didn't re-register, right? He didn't do it in time. So
I
he
see.
went back to Tamuning. He went back to JFK for the primary because he's like, that's where they got me.
Right.
So I'll go do that.
Okay.
And then I was telling them, okay, so then after the primary is over, I'm like, bro, you got to take
Go
care
over
of
there,
that.
yeah.
You gotta go online
Yeah.
and change your
Change your-
residency.
yep.
However, it was Maria Pangilinan that we were talking to her, and she said that date was like July something, so you cannot change your district anymore.
Oh, wow.
You have to wait
Has to
till
go.
after the general. So now we have to put it in our calendar that after the general, he will switch because it is an inconvenience.
It
We
is,
don't
it
live
is.
far
Right.
from JQ San Miguel. I mean,
Yeah.
you can practically walk there. You can practically roll down a hill and you'll be there. So it's just not only that, but I believe what Maria Pangilinan was saying, and so she got that phrase from somebody before her time, or not before her time, but always had the saying of "you vote where you sleep," and I believe that.
Yeah.
That should be it, right? You don't want my son voting into Muning, voting for that mayor over there when she's
Yeah.
not even
That's true, that's
overseeing.
true.
She's not even overseeing. My son and his. Why is my son gonna keep the mayor of Tamuning accountable? He don't live there.
Right.
So you should be voting
Yeah.
where you sleep.
So yeah, I think when that happened, I was like, oh man, there was so many provisionals we had to do.
Yeah. So hopefully we solved the issue, right? Because
Yeah.
they don't do that anymore. So what's the process again?
For
So
provisionals?
you basically, if the person doesn't do what my son did, right?
Oh, like they're like,
if my
"No, I
son's
wanna
like,
vote
yeah,
for-"
I'm not doing that. I'm here already. Give me a ballot.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happens?
Well, the first thing you got to do is make sure you confirm with the election commission, like, call them up like, hey, I have this voter, they're not on our listing. Can you just check? And then that's where they'll find it, like your son, they'll say, oh, he's in registered in Tamuning. And then we do tell them that, like, you're registered in whatever district, you can vote there, or we're going to do the provisional. But of course, we have to tell them, like, this doesn't count right now, like, because there's the process of rectifying what's the situation, and then we can count it. But so we make sure you explain that to them, and then there is like we have to read out, there's a specific thing that we have to read out on the envelope, like just letting them know all the details, make them sign, and then there's a special ballot for that. So we tell them, like, okay, this is the ballot, go vote, and then you have to put it in this envelope, because we don't put that together with the ones that's counted. So
it goes in a separate
ballot? It goes in a separate, no, because we collect it.
Okay.
Because it has their name and everything.
Okay.
So it's like tracked.
Okay.
Because that's with the election commission.
That's like the early voting. That's what they do when I early vote.
Similar, yeah.
They put it in an envelope and they tape it like 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to do all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to just make sure election commission is aware, because they're tracking it, like, okay, this is going to be coming in, because they collect that.
Right.
At the end, they'll be like, where's your provisional ballots?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they check all that. Yeah. But it's just a process, because you're calling and then you're helping, and at least
how long does it usually take? Because when I just go vote regular, right?
Yeah.
Maybe under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So provisional.
I think I'm like 10 minutes just calling and reading everything. So maybe I would say 10 minutes, all of that, and then they're fast, so they're done like 3 minutes or whatever.
So under 20 minutes.
Yeah, under 20 minutes.
So it's not like they're standing around for an hour.
No.
So
and we're not, and thank God our precinct is not crazy.
Right.
Because one person's handling that, and whoever's coming in, you don't want to be like, hold on real quick, we got a situation here. There's 5 of us. So.
They're trying to steal the vote.
Yes. So thank God we're not crazy,
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I know an individual, because my son, he's like, wow, I'll go ahead and go to JFK, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm inconvenienced anyways. Because even if I were to stay here and vote and have to go through that whole process, I will still have to go to the Guam Election Commission headquarters and go there on another day, on a very inconvenient day during their office hours, and show up and prove my identity to them.
Yeah. I think even people that like they got married or like they changed their name, they have to do that too, I believe. Like they name there's a name change. I think we have to. That they have to be issued, but there's the inconvenience, they have to go change their that, hey, I'm married, or I'm divorced or whatever.
Yeah. I don't even like that guy no more. How dare you call me that last name?
Right. They're like, this is the listing, because I've had that where they're like, no, it's whatever cruise, and you're like, oh, this says here, I'm looking at the date of birth.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. But ultimately, it's pretty fulfilling, right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Beyond the money, it's like you are providing a public service to this community.
Yeah.
It's a very important role.
And you get to see people, you're like, do I know that? I didn't know that person's from Jonia. like, I've seen this person, you're like, you're from Jonia?
No. They are not from Zotnia.
You're like, wait. You're looking like, like you work with them or something, and you're like, you live here? Like,
no, they don't. Maybe the DMV thing.
Maybe.
But maybe they got somebody they're related to running for mayor.
Yeah, something like that. But you're like, you're just looking at all these people, because you only see the people from your village, like at church or something. You're like, who's
everybody register in Assen, because Auntie's running for mayor there. I'm joking, but am I I don't think I think there's some truth to that. Let's see, because we don't have a lot of time, right? There's plenty to cover, especially over at the legislature.
Yeah. No, when we were listening yesterday, I was like, man, you're hearing all like different, like.
Yeah.
You're
What are
hearing
your
the
thoughts,
different-
friend?
No. Like I was listening, like I'm hearing who's the one talking about GVB, who's the one talking about the hospital. Like I was like,
yes.
I like how well, they're all like different. They're talking.
They have
about
different perspectives, right?
Yeah. So
They
I was
have
like,
they're addressing the same issue,
right?
But they have their own perspective on the issue.
Because you only get 5 minutes, right?
You only get about 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And so, so what are your thoughts? What stood out to you?
How do I say this? I am seeing kind of like the party thing going on, but like I'm seeing that side, who's really for party and who's like really trying to work together.
Sure.
Yeah. But
No, I get it.
yeah.
For sure.
And then when you were saying like it's all kind of meshing, or you were saying you watched another one and you're like it's kind of blending into. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't hear the other one, but yeah, I was like, oh, I'm just like listening to who, like I'm hearing who's the one that's like, yeah, we gotta stick to our party, we gotta play this, and then other people who are like really trying to work together, like and I think I agree with them how they're saying like we're not getting everything, or like it's not. What did they say? We're still trying to.
There are things that we don't like in this bill. However, that's life, right? We got to compromise.
Yeah.
And so you're not gonna get everything that you want.
Yeah.
But it's something that we can be proud of. We got to a certain point where it's not like a bugaboo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like the thing that got me was the phantom money. I was like, wait. I'm like, if I'm the administrator there, it's like, how is that? Like, I'm getting money, but I'm not like, if you're telling me I'm getting money, like, I'm really writing the checks because, I got to pay vendors, I got to pay things, I got to pay my bills. But
for
you're
sure.
telling me it's phantom money. Like, I don't understand that. But I was like, I don't know, that thing got
It's
me.
monopoly money.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
I would like to pay my bills with the monopoly money, too.
Yeah.
Let me just show
that part
up.
got me.
Let me just show up with the Monopoly man on $100 bill.
Yeah, that was the only thing.
And so that's also like the case over at GMH as well, too. Where they've got some money that the legislature has appropriated for them for their electric panel.
Yeah.
However, if they use some of that money for this electric panel, a grant that they have already applied for that is about $20 million, that could be null and void. And so they also want to just be careful, right?
Okay,
that they don't spend some money on a project that can be paid for by FEMA. And so there's, it's not all black and white. There's very gray areas too.
I see.
And it's not as simple as people would like to think, right? And at the same time, when I say that, I still agree that things can be simpler than we can present it, right? I think we start to get carried away and get into the weeds when sometimes we can solve a lot of the issues that are, systemic by just going back to simplifying things.
Yeah.
Just going back to basics. Let's as far as, I don't know, maintenance wise, right? Just sprucing up some things from Jigo to Malesu all the way down, right? Addressing some of the things we know we can handle. And then we can always go back to some of the more sophisticated issues or the issues that are going to cost billions of dollars to solve. But I mean, if we're going to work together with either the mayors or we're going to work together with GVB or DPW to, clean up the areas that we know have been ignored, then that's a start,
Yeah.
I'm looking over at the intersection that looks like we could possibly be seeing a quad intersection Have you seen it, Route 8?
Yeah, I'm kind of noticing that too.
Yeah. However, they do still need to figure out how to level that. They keep adding more, what is it, Cascal?
Yeah.
But it's not working. It's still pretty steep.
Oh, God.
You know,
Yeah.
so, I mean, maybe it is. I'm just driving by here and there, right?
Yeah.
But it still looks like it's not a 45-degree angle, but I'm worried about the chassis of the buses.
Yeah.
And that would help the traffic flow. Obviously, well, what traffic right now when Teason High is not even open, right? That facility has been shut down.
Yeah.
But as you prepare, hopefully in the next, 10 days, I was listening to Dr. Judy Wampat this morning with Patty, right? And she gave an update to the listeners, to the audience, about where they were there. And so, we want to be optimistic. We want to support these endeavors, these initiatives, because ultimately when you are rooting for them and saying, whatever it takes to open up in 10 days, ultimately that's going to get the students back in there to learn in a real learning environment. Because what's the other plan? The other plan is what they're doing now, and learning online or taking these packets home, going to pick up their lunch and bringing it back to their kids, right? And so where do Simon Sanchez students live? They live in Jigo.
Right.
That's super inconvenient.
To come over there and
Yeah. So then the other plan is to redistrict, and so it's not ideal, and you know that that's not what the students want, right? But that's another option, right, to redistrict. Where do you think the Teason High students would go? They'll go to GW. That's where they originally came from, right? That's their district. When there was no Teason, all the students that go to Teason went to GW. Simon Sanchez, they will probably go to Ukadu and JFK, if that is the option. When I was listening to redistricting, like that's where they'll go. And then the other option is double session again.
Wow.
Whether, I don't remember Dr. Judy saying if it would be at JFK, but I mean, they did fit in JFK doing the double sessions there. There's Ukadu also that had double session with FBLG. There's also FBLG that could. But while all of that is happening, there are other things that are happening too.
Right.
There are other things at play, but those things are down the road, like a possible temporary facility near Simon Sanchez. And I hope that whoever's the next governor, because that ain't happening between now and January.
Wow.
And that DPW has already, said, never mind, we're starting from step one again. We're going to put out the bid and do the whole procurement process all over again, right?
Yeah.
So when will they start building Simon Sanchez? More than likely, that's not even going to happen again. That's just not going to happen until after a new governor is in place.
Right.
And so I hope that for the sake of these students in this community and the promises that were kept and made to build Simon Sanchez, because I know, and I am very well aware of what some people have said in the community, that it's not fiscally responsible, more debt to all the taxpayers that live here when you're seeing a population decrease.
Yeah.
I get all that, but unfortunately, too bad, because too many leaders have already promised the people that live up in Jigo, they've already committed to rebuilding Simon Sanchez. And so now they must fulfill that promise. They just must. There's no more, there is no question about it.
Yeah.
You must rebuild this. How do you rebuild it and how much it costs? That's something that you can have a conversation about, especially if you're going back to step one. You can. But a temporary facility in the vicinity of Simon Sanchez has to be part of the conversation too. They have to work that out. They just really do. Because we're talking about FBLG students or middle school students that may never get into a campus of their own, a Simon Sanchez High School campus. Very soon, we'll be talking about elementary students that won't even be able to get in there.
Wow.
Right? So
And the
that's
board, when you're
a fifth grader in elementary, they'll be in high school in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Will a Simon Sanchez be built in 5 years? See?
Yeah.
And every year that we wait, it just pushes that project further down.
Yeah. You were saying
pretty soon you're going to be like, my grandchildren haven't been in there.
Weren't you saying when you were going down the list of the board, because there's 6, right? Weren't you, for the education board, you were saying the numbers? Isn't it like 6 on that board?
I think there's only 4 that are running.
Yeah, right. So that means, I'm not saying like no, that's like a guarantee, but it's kind of like
there are only 4 running. I don't know how many seats are available.
Ah, I see. Okay, because I was like, I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay. But that's just an advisory board, right? That's how you kind of look at the education board.
They only have 1 employee.
Oh.
It's the superintendent.
And they're just like an advisory committee, kind of like that's their.
Well, they vote on things that are sent to them.
Okay.
Right? However, they're not supposed to be telling a principal what to do and how to run their school.
I got you.
The superintendent is the one that sets all of those parameters, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, they hold the superintendent accountable. But there have been a number of grievances from teachers and faculty, right? Faculty and staff that had said, hey, in the past, board members have, crossed the line as far as micromanaging. And so, it depends on who you talk to too, because the board clearly is saying, no, that's not us. We're not doing any of that. I'm like, okay, well then,
Okay.
Where are the grievances coming from then?
Yeah.
2:36 in the afternoon. We'll take the break, and then on the other side, we can unpack some of the bills that have already passed, and then they went back into session to debate a few more bills that they set aside earlier, and now they brought them back to debate. And I don't know if they will ultimately vote on those bills, but they're halfway there. They voted on a few already, and then they just went back to I forget what that is, second reading. I forget. There's first, second, third reading is when they go and vote, but they're not there yet. So we'll do that on the other side of these. 2:36 in the afternoon. This is Wave 105.
Stay informed, stay connected. Wave 105, the talk of Guam.
Introducing the all-new Subway Wraps. Now you can make any footlong a wrap. Light, delicious, and satisfying without weighing you down. Subway Wraps make fueling your day easier than ever with bold flavors and fresh ingredients. Try the cheesy garlic steak wrap today. Subway, eat fresh, feel good.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Hats Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And And to keep you cool, Hats also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and based-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
It's time to celebrate Haggatnya! Join us for the Cost You Less Haggatnya grand opening August 28th through the 30th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of family fun with free giveaways, activities, and amazing savings throughout the store. Be among the first to experience a new Cost You Less designed to bring more value, convenience, and more ways to save. The celebration starts Friday, August 28th. Cost You Less Haggatnya grand opening weekend. Don't miss it.
First impressions start with a smile. Call the FHP Dental Clinic for quality dental care. Need a cleaning? Maybe a filling? Or another dental procedure? When you smile, everyone around you smiles. Now accepting new patients. Call 671-646-5825, extension 8562 for appointments. Most insurance plans accepted, including Take Care and GovGuam self-funded. Self-pay patients welcome. FHP Dental Clinic. Our island, your clinic.
Explore, snap, and share for a chance to win a round-trip ticket to Taiwan. Join the Guam Photo Hunt and visit iconic landmarks and hidden gems island-wide. The more locations you photograph, the more chances you have to win exciting prizes. Learn more and submit to win online at visitguam.com/photo hunt. Terms and conditions apply. Explore, snap, and rediscover Guam. Brought to you by the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Everyone has savings goals. Whatever you're saving for, Bank of Hawaii wants to help you reach your possible. That's why with our Bank Ohana 12-month CD special, you can earn 3.4% annual percentage yield with a minimum deposit of $5,000 from another bank. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So reach your savings goals with our 12-month CD special.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii. For terms and conditions, go to boh.com/CD special.
Half a day, I'm Callan Perez and I'm running for senator. Service to our island has shaped my life, from community advocacy and substance abuse recovery to supporting sustainable agriculture. Inspired by my parents, Dr. Perez and Dr. Erickson, I remain committed to serving the people of Guam. I'm Callan Perez and I approve this message.
Hafa-day, Guam! The Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association invites you to the Fair Trade Show, Guam's premier hospitality and food service event. Join us August 19th and 20th at the Hyatt Regency Guam from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Experience hands-on training sessions and exciting culinary competitions featuring professionals, apprentices, and pastry talent. Discover new products, connect with suppliers, and celebrate Guam's hospitality industry. Don't miss Fair 2026. Visit GHRA.org for details.
Ever dreamed of being on the radio? Now's your chance. Glimpses of Guam is looking for the next generation of on-air personalities to join our family on Wave 105. If you've got personality, creativity, and a passion for entertaining, we want to hear from you. No matter your experience level, this could be your opportunity to be heard across the airwaves. Send your resume and a short demo to jobs@glimpsesofguam.com and start your broadcasting journey today. Join the Glimpses of Guam radio team. Your voice belongs on the air on Wave 105.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
All right, welcome back. It's the bright side, even though it's not so bright outside, right? 671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. We've got somebody on the line. Let's go. Hafa-day, Wave 105, you're on the air.
Hafa-day, Pauly. I'm calling in to expound on my comments on your program yesterday regarding the remark by the legislators in the 38th Guam legislature on the FY FY27 budget. Okay, I watch the legislature all the time. I've honed in and I watch them in session as much as I possibly can. And last year, I remember some things that really teed me off about this BGT rollback. One of them was the mayors from all the municipalities went to the legislature during their hearing, and they made passionate pleadings to the legislature for more monies to go to the municipalities. How did the 38th legislature respond? They just gave them more money to do bush cutting and cosmetic work. Didn't really reach out to the constituents in those municipalities, municipalities where they live. Okay, so from what I gather, I see that by rolling back the BGT in last year's FY26 budget, the 38th legislature removed approximately $42 million out of the GovGuam coffers. And that, if we stick on the estimate of $42 million, that's $3.5 million per month that they removed from the treasury of Guam, just because they have a legislative right to do so. And it's so disappointing to see that they're doing it again. If they kept the 5%, that would have resulted in an $84 million deposit.
Yeah, into the budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
okay.
the government
but
to
you know
utilize.
where it really teed me off is the BGT.
We're talking about the business privilege tax, right? BPT.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. The BGT, it affects the cash flow because the depositors have to deposit that month on the 19th day of the month after the tax is due. So what did the legislature do in effect by that BGT rollback? They removed $38.5 million that would have come in and would have been deposited by August 19th of 2026. FY27, okay, they roll it back down to 4%. That results in $7 million a month in cash flow removed from the government coffers. That's $84 million, that the BGT could have added to the GovGuam coffers. Now, if that rollback would have benefited the community by the retailers rolling back the price of their goods and services that they pay the BGT, then that might have been helpful. But that and I know that did not happen. So, if you remove the $84 million and then the $42 million, that would have resulted in a cash deposit to the GovGuam Treasury of $126 million, even if they rolled back FY26. So these legislators, I don't care what they say or how they try to justify it. The fact of the matter is that just because they have the right and privilege to roll back that money doesn't mean that it was the right thing to do, especially in light of the fact that we are experiencing so much trouble. Now, we have a storm brewing, right? And they're saying that it's going to go north of Guam. But what, because these storms are volatile, what if it veers farther south and hits Saipan or Guam again, or Guam? Where is the money that we're going to need for recovery? And that's going to affect business, tourism, all this other stuff. If they kept the BGT at 5%, then that would, by the end of FY27, that would have meant $168 million, things that could take care of, oh my goodness, GVB needs help. The Guam International Airport needs help. The hospital needs help. And the mayors, especially in the municipalities who directly affect the residents of Guam. That's why it is in my heart I acknowledge that all the men and women serving in the legislature are good men and women. But this BGT rollback, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the people I talked to in my private chats, it was a really big mistake. Now, I don't know how the people I converse with, I have 263 people in a private chat that we converse about these things every day, and we're nobodies. I'm a nobody. I don't have a government position or the economic and political power that these people asking for votes do. But I'm telling you, I'm looking, and I'm going to take how I feel is are my concerns to the voting polls this November. And I'm telling you right now, there's only maybe one or two Republican senators in the 38th Guam legislature that I will mark a yes, and I have my reasons for doing so. Anyone running for public office this time needs to start thinking about what they're doing for people. People are not going to the polls to vote because no one's listening to ordinary nobodies, grassroots people who are really being impacted economically and in every way. We want legislators to show us the money, give us tangible evidence that they're really serving the people and not a special interest group. I'm getting nervous just talking about this because, I know it's going to fall upon deaf ears, but I'm telling you, the people I'm in contact with, my nobodies, my common, ordinary resident of Guam who are registered voters, we have a private chat of 263 people. And I don't know how they voted in the primary because I haven't surveyed them yet. But I'll tell you one thing. They're all thinking about changing this political paradigm. It's crippling us here on Guam. So while they're continuing in session, we're going to be watching. Now, I'm watching them and sending them the messages or the things that I'm observing in the legislature. And I hope people who plan to vote do the same thing, because you can see the attitudes, you can see who the injustices being done in those legislative halls. Especially from the minority who sometimes have great ideas at solving problems. We need problem solvers, and in this 38th legislature, I think that they were problem creators. And I also think that we as a community, individually and collectively, also need to contribute to solving the problems in our economy and everything else. And we just have to get out there and get more involved and do more about serving the community and not just expecting these politicians to do it because they're not doing it. So that's basically all I have to say
Very well
today.
said. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Okay. You have a nice day.
You
Thank
too,
you, Pauly.
Dorina. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate her calling in and sharing what is important to her and what she's going to be paying attention to when she goes out and votes, along with 260 plus people in a chat group with her, right? You just sent this, right, Yuli?
Yeah, I'm so sad.
Sakura Noodle House. This is the one in Tamuning over at Camp Watkins? That's
Yeah.
the Sakura Noodle, right?
Yeah.
Because there's
The other
Sakura
one in,
Noodle, there's
I think
Sakura
it's
Dining.
Sakura Kitchen.
Yeah, Sakura Kitchen,
But
right?
the Noodle House is the OG one.
Yeah,
salad
wow.
bar.
You can still go, or the last time, I don't think they raised their prices in
For
like
sure,
decades,
yeah.
right?
Real.
Right?
You
the,
remember
the
eating
chop suey?
Yeah, you remember eating the kids. What was it when they put it in the little car?
Yes.
When you were a kid, right?
The cabbage salad?
Yeah,
It's just
man.
cabbage with a little bit of carrots, but the dressing.
It was so good.
Right?
Yeah, my heart's breaking right
They're
now.
closing their doors on August 31st. Yeah. So this is, where'd you get this? This is from their
It's
Instagram?
It's their Facebook page.
We will remain open and continue serving our customers while our remaining supplies last. As we approach our final days, some menu items may become unavailable, and once our supplies have been exhausted, we may close our doors before August 31. We ask that you use your points before we close. For more than 5 decades, so over 50 years, Sakura Noodle House has been more than a restaurant. To our family, it has been a part of our lives, a place where we watch families grow, children become parents, and familiar faces return year after year. So many birthdays, celebrations, conversations, and simple meals shared together have filled these walls with memories we will carry with us forever. Some of you have been coming to Sakura for generations. You brought your children and later your grandchildren. You allowed our food to become a small part of your family traditions and your lives, knowing that is something our family will always treasure. To every customer who walked through our doors, every employee, and every friend who supported us through the good times and the difficult ones, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, for believing in our small family business, and for giving Sakura Noodle House 54 years of memories. With all our love and gratitude, the Sakura Noodle House family. Yeah. Somebody else is on the line?
Yeah, Frank wants to comment about it.
Oh, right.
Okay, go for it.
Hafide, Frank, you're on the air.
Hey, Hafide, Pauly.
Hafide, Frank.
Man, me and my 2 voters, me and my wife.
Okay.
We talk a lot. We don't work for the government. Maybe that lady works for the government or whatever. But, I don't get benefits or whatever. I pay for my own health insurance. Mm-hmm. And I get up every morning. I work Monday through Sunday. And I don't know where that lady's coming from. She must work for the government. Her and her 200-some people got time to talk on the chat. I hardly have time to even pick up the phone and respond to my wife when I'm out working. But, rolling back that BPT, roll it back, man. Because you know what? They made a promise. Just like they made a promise to Simon Sanchez, to build Simon Sanchez. They promised that was only temporary, Pauly. All right? So roll it back, man, because small businesses and people that hustle every day, just trying to pay their bills and not take any handouts from the government are suffering. You know? I don't work for the government. I never worked for the government. People that work for the government, I don't know, I didn't put up canopies and whatnot and then begged for a job or whatever, got favoritism, you know, because most of the employees at the government now, Pauly, are political. I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them are political hires in this government. And it's just sad that the people that should be getting those jobs, the most qualified people, the people that want to work every day, get up like me every day and go to work and work happily, don't get those jobs. That's what's wrong with the government, Pauly. That's why the government's like this, unproductive, lazy at times. Not all of them are lazy, Pauly, don't get me wrong. You got a lot of people there that are carrying the cross for other workers that are lazy. You know, the backbone of the government. You know, I'm just sorry that, you know, our political leaders and the people she's going to vote for have been in power for 8 years, and hardly anything's improving. It's crumbling. So I don't know what that lady's talking about, but you know, people are suffering that don't work for the government.
Well, what I appreciate,
I cannot pay $200, and then the government pays the other $1,200 for my insurance every month.
No, I respect your perspective, and I also respect Jarina's perspective.
Yes,
That's what
I
I
respect
appreciate.
it, Pauly. I'm putting out my side.
Okay.
As a non-government worker and not politically connected to these people, pari, they bring up the pari, and then their wife got a job over there at the airport. You know, I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know either.
Oh, you know, pari, mali, my friend, and same political affiliation or whatever they want to call it, Pauly. I respect what the lady said, and this is just my opinion.
Absolutely.
Okay, because we got a lot of people just like me that are just trying to survive here and pay our own bills and roll with it and want a lower BPT. Okay, Pauly? Because we are paying the taxes.
No, I appreciate you calling too, because you get two different perspectives.
She gets it put out of her check. We go in and we pay it. All right? And that's just my opinion. I respect her opinion too.
Thanks, Frank.
I respect everybody's opinion. But that's just my opinion.
Thank you, sir.
And if I'm going to keep paying somebody for the same old thing and then it's even getting worse, that's just, it doesn't make business sense. It doesn't make sense at all. You're going to charge more or whatnot. You need to show that you're improving. You're making things better. And things are getting better. And the hospital is not leaking and the panel's fixed. You know? You know what I'm saying, Pauly? Because any person, Pauly, is not going to keep giving money to something that's broken and it's not getting fixed. Only a fool would do that, Pauly. And I don't mind paying extra, Pauly, but you know what? There's no improvement, man. Where's the improvement? Show me, man. You know what I'm saying, Paul?
I hear what you're saying. Unfortunately,
okay, thank you, man.
Okay.
You know, thank you, and you know, that's my perspective, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same way as me, just like people feel the same way as her.
Yes.
But I don't know where those people are working. They must have it good to want to pay more taxes. Thanks, Pauly.
All right.
I would rather pay less taxes, Pauly, than more. I don't know about you. I'd rather pay less than more. For these people that want to pay more taxes, I think they need to get their brains checked or something. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right.
KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam. I don't mind paying taxes because I see both of their sides. I really do. I just want to see a return on investment. We'll take the break, and we'll get you your AP news. On the other side, Genesis Babauta will be coming in either on the other side of this break or somewhere in the 3 o'clock hour. The roads are wet. It's very unsafe. Visibility is low. And so we just want to make sure that Genesis gets here safely, right? That's the most important thing. But we are looking forward to that conversation. So that's coming up very soon right here on Wave 105. We'll be right back. Once again, KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam.
You're listening to KGUM FM Dededo, Wave 105.1 FM, the talk of Guam, a proud Glimpses media radio station.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. South Korea says the military drills underway with the U.S. will be shortened at Washington's request by about 6 days. Karen Shamas has more.
South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung said the country's alliance with the U.S. is vital for national security after President Trump abruptly ordered to substantially reduce military exercises designed to sharpen readiness against North Korean threats. Trump cited what he said was a good relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korea's refusal to join the war against Iran. I'm Karen Shamas.
Alaska, Florida, and Wyoming held primary elections Tuesday, while California held a special election to fill Congressman Eric Swalwell's seat after his resignation. In Florida, the November contest to replace term-limited Governor Ron DeSantis will match Representative Byron Donalds on the Republican side against former Congressman David Jolly for the Democrats. Alaska voters are narrowing a field of 16 candidates for a competitive U.S. Senate seat. There are 2 Dan Sullivans, including the current senator, and former U.S. Representative Mary Peltola, a Democrat. The top 4 vote-getters will advance to the general election regardless of party. And Lisa Dwyer reports 14 people have been charged in connection with a drug ring at Penn State.
The group allegedly ran the operation out of 2 off-campus fraternity houses, described by authorities as an upper-level trafficking organization for the area. The drug ring reportedly operated in 2023 and 2024, using fraternity pledges to cut and package cocaine. 4 people face serious charges. Delta Upsilon has been placed on interim suspension by Penn State. The other fraternity, Sigma Chi, is not recognized by the university and not subject to its oversight. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And Liberia has agreed to accept up to 1,200 third-country deportees from the U.S. This is AP News. In Mexico, avocado pickers are back at work after a U.S. security alert halted exports for more than a week. Donna Warder explains.
Orchard supervisor Jesus Mendez says the halt in production had an economic impact on both producers and workers. Michoacan is Mexico's main avocado-producing state and also a region where 4 cartels designated by the Trump administration as terrorist organizations operate. U.S. authorities fully lifted the restrictions after more Mexican troops were deployed in the region. Avocado producer Luis Manuel Soto says more troops bring more peace of mind because he says his life has repeatedly been threatened. He says, I think we can work more comfortably, do our jobs better, and hopefully they will continue providing security so that everyone in Michoacan can move forward. I'm Donna Warder.
There are more stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
We're grabbing a spoon today to dig into a chaotic piece of culinary history that completely revolutionized summer desserts forever. Welcome to the National Day Spotlight for August 19th.
Celebrating National Soft Ice Cream Day typically brings back fond childhood memories. In 1938, an inventive father-son duo named John and Alex McCullough perfected a secret formula for a warmer, softer ice cream. Lacking the machinery to scale production, they convinced an Illinois shop owner to host an aggressive all-you-can-eat trial for just 10 cents on a sweltering August night. Within hours, a frantic crowd of over 1,600 customers completely swarmed the tiny storefront, forming a massive block-long line down the sidewalk. This chaotic, record-breaking feeding frenzy conclusively proved the concept was a certified gold mine, leading directly to the birth of Dairy Queen.
And now we know where it all started.
That's right. Can you imagine? All you can eat ice cream for 10 cents. I can see why 1,600 people showed up.
I mean, today, all you could eat ice cream for $10 would still be a good deal.
They'd still get a line of 1,600
yes,
people.
Yes, they would.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
Okay.
We're also celebrating National Aviation Day and National Potato Day. I'm Alice Anderson.
And I'm Arlo Anderson with National Day Calendar, reminding you to celebrate every day.
If you're looking for world-class website hosting at a fair price, Pair Networks is your best choice. Founded in the early days of the web and still going strong today, Pair Networks now hosts over 150,000 websites for its demanding customers worldwide. Setting the standards for excellence, Pair Networks has a technical and support staff that's second to none. A highly stable company with top-of-the-line technology, Pair Networks offers total reliability and flexibility for your website. and even a money-back guarantee. Whether you're a professional web designer or a beginner just getting your site online, Pair Networks has a web hosting plan that's right for you. Make the move today. Log on and learn more at pair.com. That's PAIR.com. Pair Networks, world-class web hosting at a fair price. Visit us at pair.com. Pair Networks.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Introducing the all-new Subway Wraps. Now you can make any footlong a wrap. Light, delicious, and satisfying without weighing you down. Subway Wraps make fueling your day easier than ever with bold flavors and fresh ingredients. Try the cheesy garlic steak wrap today. Subway, eat fresh, feel good.
It's time to celebrate Haggatya! Join us for the Costuless Haggatya grand opening August 28th through the 30th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of family fun with free giveaways, activities, and amazing savings throughout the store. Be among the first to experience a new Costuless designed to bring more value, convenience, and more ways to save. The celebration starts Friday, August 28th. Costuless Haggatya grand opening weekend. Don't miss it.
Half a day. I'm Clint Rigel, and I'm running for senator. If you're looking for proven, effective leadership, vote for me, and let's grow Guam together. I'm Clint Rigel, and I approve this message.
Hafa Guam! The Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association invites you to the Fair Trade Show, Guam's premier hospitality and food service event. Join us August 19th and 20th at the Hyatt Regency Guam from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Experience hands-on training sessions and exciting culinary competitions featuring professionals, apprentices, and pastry talent. Discover new products, connect with suppliers, and celebrate Guam's hospitality industry. Don't miss Fair 2026. Visit GHRA.org for details.
Everyone has savings goals. Whatever you're saving for, Bank of Hawaii wants to help you reach your possible. That's why with our Bank Ohana 12-month CD special, you can earn 3.4% annual percentage yield with a minimum deposit of $5,000 from another bank. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So reach your savings goals with our 12-month CD special.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii. For terms and conditions, go to boh.com/CD special.
Hafa Day, I'm Callan Perez, and I'm running for senator. Service to our island has shaped my life, from community advocacy and substance abuse recovery to supporting sustainable agriculture. Inspired by my parents, Dr. Perez and Dr. Erickson, I remain committed to serving the people of Guam. I'm Callan Perez, and I approve this message.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
It's 3:11 Guam on this August 19, 2026. Be safe out there as weather conditions are not looking good right now. This is KGUM-FM, Wave 105.1, the talk of Guam. And for your regularly scheduled program, we have the BrightSide with Mr. Pauly Suba. We are streaming online at thewave105.com, on YouTube, Wave 105.1 FM Guam, and the Glimpses Radio app. Our studio line is 671-922-1051. 1052. Thank you for tuning in, and this is the Bright Side.
I want to thank our sponsors, and that's Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. GTA, we start with you. Triple J, it's big deals on big wheels at Triple J Ford. Save thousands off retail. Drive home a new Ford F-150 starting at just $39,995. Visit Triple J Ford today. customers first. Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. And Micropack for sound tech, everything in between. Think Micropack. Thanks again for hanging out with us on the bright side, even though it's not so bright outside, right? Appreciate you hanging out with us. Genesis is going to be joining shortly. Obviously, the roads are not safe. He is driving well below the speed limit so he can get here safely, right? And visibility is extremely low. So he's nearby. And so once I get the message, Julie, if you don't mind, just meeting him over at the top of the stairs, or you might even need to just go down to the lobby and just grab him.
Okay.
But we'll get the message soon. In the meantime, the Radiation Exposure Compensation Reauthorization Act of 2026, there is a bill now. Like I'm actually looking at it. I saw the message coming in from Senor Robert Celestial saying that they are moving forward, and he was thanking a number of people from the congressman's office as well for making this happen. And so this bill, this Reauthorization Act, would greatly expand the program that pays people who basically have become sick after being exposed by radiation and, end up having cancer. And so for Guam, it would specifically make Guam an eligible affected area. So according to the bill, if the U.S. government's nuclear testing or nuclear-related activities expose people to radiation and they later develop certain cancers or illnesses, more of those people should be able to receive federal compensation, including the people from Guam. It also tries to make the program easier to qualify for and even increase the benefits, and also allow it to be available for much longer. So the bill specifically adds Guam, the territory of Guam, to the areas covered under the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act that already exists. For the new Guam eligibility category, the bill says a person could qualify based on being physically present in Guam for at least 1 year between July 1, 1946 and November 6, 1992, or during the specified April 25 to November 6, 1962 period, provided the other requirements of the law are satisfied. So it doesn't pay everybody who lived in Guam during those years. A claimant would still have to meet the law's eligibility requirements, including having a covered illness. So the bill would increase compensation for covered downwinder claims from $100,000 now to $150,000, and obviously Guam has never been included. And so the other addition is qualifying people could also receive reimbursement for documented out-of-pocket medical expenses caused by their covered illness that weren't paid by insurance, workers' compensation, or another health program. So up to $150,000 compensation provided under the section, plus certain documented medical costs. It also expands the illnesses that qualify. So it broadens the list. It includes leukemia, multiple, and I'm probably going to say a lot of these wrong, right? Myeloma and lymphomas, renal disease, and thyroid diseases, along with cancers involving the thyroid, breast, esophagus, stomach, pancreas, bladder, brain, colon, ovary, liver, bone, kidney, rectum, prostate, uterus, cervix, skin, lung, and several others. The matter is also talking about how you can prove you qualify. So one of the problems, again, with the claims involving the fact that this happened, 50, 60, 70 years ago, and that can be difficult to prove. So the bill would require the Attorney General to accept certain written affidavits or declarations as evidence alongside other evidence. Genesis is here.
Okay, I'll be there.
Yeah. And Genesis, if you're listening, Yuli's coming to get you. And he'll be up in just a bit. And let me just pull from the bill until Genesis gets here. So, for example, another person could provide a sworn statement supporting a claimant's assertion that they were physically present in an affected area during the required period. The statement would be made under the penalty of perjury, right? And so similar affidavits could help establish employment, participation in nuclear testing, participation in the NOE talk cleanup, and then certain illnesses. People who already receive RICA money could also potentially get more. And again, for Guam, nobody in Guam has ever qualified. So there's not getting more. There's simply finally qualifying and getting up to that $150,000. And then also providing documentation that proves that you were paying out of pocket all these years. That can also, you can also possibly get reimbursed there. And so covered claimants could also receive the newly created medical benefits under the RICA bill, and families and representatives could get more ability to file. It's allowing you to have easier access for someone else to pursue a claim as well when the exposed person has died or has become incapacitated. An authorized agent could include an executor, legal guardian, personal representative, or another situated person approved by the Attorney General. And then, of course, it keeps RICA alive for much longer, right? There's a sunset clause. The bill would expend the compensation funds authorization from 2028 to 2043 and extend the deadline for claims from 2027 to 2042. So that's about 15 years added on. The bill creates a process where groups who believe they were exposed but aren't currently covered could petition the federal government. The Attorney General, again, would review scientific exposure information, advise the president. The president could then designate that group as eligible if there's a reasonable likelihood their radiation exposure endangered their health. The other is CNMI is now in the conversation too. And so real quick before we pivot, I just want to pull from the press release that we got from Congressman Jim Moylan, because we haven't heard much from the CNMI. And so in Congressman Jim Moylan's presser, there's a comment, or there is a statement from Congresswoman Kimberlyn King-Hines. And she says, for decades, Pacific communities have lived with unanswered questions about the long-term consequences of America's nuclear weapons program. The Northern Mariana Islands deserves answers too. This issue was recently raised with me by members of our community who asked whether radioactive fallout from nuclear testing in the Pacific may have reached the Northern Mariana Islands and what that exposure could have meant for the health of our people. I want to give them credit for raising an important question that deserves to be examined. My responsibility as your delegate is to listen when concerns are brought to me, look at the facts, and then determine what we can do about them. That is what we did here. We began examining the issue, brought the CNMI's concerns to our federal partners, and now this legislation calls for research into radiation exposure and its potential impacts on the Northern Mariana Islands, while also expanding compensation and improving access to health resources for communities affected by America's nuclear testing program. I am grateful to Congressman Jim Moylan for his partnership and for working with me to ensure the CNMI was included in this legislation. We should not presume what the science will tell us, but our people deserve to have the question asked, the history examined, and the research done. This is how representative government should work. Our community raises a concern, we listen, and then we get to work finding answers. So in this bill, it talks of exactly that. The legislation calls for research into radiation exposure and its potential impacts on the Northern Mariana Islands. And I really do appreciate what Congresswoman King Hines has said. We listen, and then we get to work finding answers. You know who else has been listening? Genesis Babauta. And so we're just going to pivot, if that's okay, to Genesis Babauta. And we've had our conversations, Genesis.
Yes.
And you've recently had your conversations with a lot of our local leaders. I was able to watch the Lunch with the Leaders.
Yes. That was a series that I just did this over the weekend and yesterday.
Yeah. Just yesterday?
Yeah.
That was with
the Vice
Speaker
team.
Tony Adams.
Yes.
Okay. And so I wanted to, and I appreciate you coming in. I know it's pretty unsafe out there, right? Everything good? Yeah.
It's flooding on the road coming up in front of Reverend
Yeah.
Tax on the way. So that was the only delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
just the
everything
rain,
is
regular
okay?
rain. Yeah,
You don't look wet at all.
That's what the lady at the front desk said.
You cleared all of that.
I sprint from my car right here, and I guess I don't know if you saw that MythBusters video where they were like, "Do you get wet walking or running in the rain?" I guess running works.
Running works? That's cool. Well, I wanted to just have kind of the same casual conversation that you were having too with Vice Speaker Tony Ada and EJ Calvo, right?
Yeah.
And Senator Therese and Senator Sabina, right? And so, I mean, I've had my own conversations with them myself, but listening to you speak with them, they really appreciate the fact that somebody like yourself in the younger age bracket is really paying attention to what's happening. It's extremely important. Both teams have said so, right? And so now that you've had those conversations, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot. I feel like you did this to be objective, to not pick sides. But how much do you appreciate both of these camps and their perspective on how they envision governing Guam?
I'm really I like the way you put it, right? I do really appreciate them for coming down and to just have lunch with me, right? Because I can only imagine if my schedule's busy, their campaign schedule must just be off the charts,
for sure,
right? And for them to give me like an hour, 2 hours, even some of them they say for like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
I was very honored to get the time to just have a conversation, right? And I wanted to highlight, and I did this mainly just to give them a platform to engage with the youth, right? Because when I was talking with Miss Maria Pangilinan from the GEC, she was talking about how there is no, the youth vote is the weak, like
right.
My demographic, they barely come out to vote, right? And that's like kind of my mission, kind of just to try to kind of help my peers find their spark, right? Find something like, how I found my, reason or desire to be involved and help improve our island, and kind of give my peers the same platform and try to inspire them in some way. Not just me, but seeing these conversations that I'm having with these leaders and all the other things that I do.
Mm-hmm. I've also noticed what you're doing too is you've opened the door for others like yourself of your age group too to say, you know what, I have a voice, right? I've noticed more op-eds, more of your peers speaking out.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I've been, every time I open my phones, I was like 2 or 3 people talking about the Simon Sanchez issues. Even like some middle schoolers were writing some articles, and that's what I wanted, right? And I'm always like really grateful, and I'm happy. I'm just overjoyed to see it, right? Because it's like somebody's listening, right? Somebody is it's working, right? Like and this is just the first step into building a better future for our island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really appreciate your take on it all too. I really appreciate some of the questions that you're asking Senator Therese and Senator Tony, the two camps, and trying to get to the bottom of an issue and how do you think that they could address it. You touched on a number of things. Tourism, how do they plan on addressing tourism if they were governor, the economy, education. And I've heard Senator Tony talk about he wanted to create like chiefs.
Yeah, he was talking about it yesterday.
And tourism, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, I want you to stay in that objective place, right? Because I think that's how we can best serve our community.
Exactly.
Right? And I really do appreciate how you kept that level or that standard of just, putting the question out there and not necessarily leaning into one camp over the other.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah,
right?
right. You're I like that idea.
Exactly. That's the hardest part.
I really like that one.
I know. They say some things, right? I was like, oh, that's really good. But I think that's what I that's what I want for my peers, right? That's why I kind of.
I don't know. I'm getting shorter, Genesis. I think I gotta buy another chair.
I know we're gonna. I don't know, but yeah, that's the thing. That's what I wanted. That's how I wanted the conversation to be, right? I kind of wanted to, I'm bringing I'm creating everything, right? But I want the candidates to kind of guide the conversation, right?
Sure.
And you can see where they kind of leaned more in the conversation, right? I just I didn't have anything, no prep questions, no really idea in mind of how it's going to go. I kind of just wanted to bring up topics and see which ones they bring up over and over again and see what their main focus is.
Sure.
Right? Because that's the thing that I've been talking with a lot of my peers is because, I wrote an article about it the other week, and it was talking about how a lot of my peers, they don't really care. Like, that's the thing I get a lot when I talk to them. They don't care about politics, right? They don't care about all the who's running for governor, senators, and all those things, right? And I think the thing is that they don't see how politics affects our everyday lives, right? Like, I was talking to my friends at the basketball court. They're like, I'm not really into politics. But they don't see that politics is what gives us the fixed water fountains, what repaints the court and stuff like that. They don't see that the sidewalks and the parks that we go to and all those things, is all affected by politics. And what I want for my peers is not for them to, you don't have to be like, he's holding a sign and canvassing and everything, right? All you have to do is, listen in and see who is the leader that they can, their values and their morals align with, what they who they think is the best to lead our island, lead us, because we're the next generation.
Yeah, I like that too, right? Because everybody has their own perspective. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. And so what might be important to one individual when they're listening to this group can be the exact opposite for another individual listening to the conversation.
Exactly.
And so when you hear them and you get the similar questions answered, now you have a more educated viewpoint on who these two are before I go and vote.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you plan on doing that with senators and whatnot?
I'd like to, but there's a lot.
There's 30 of them now, right?
I cut down. I wanted to do a series where I can kind of go interview them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's just the hardest part is to remain fair and equal, right? Because I could post one video first and the last, and for them to. But I'd like to. I was thinking about that's one of the things that I want to do as well. I also have another event that I'm trying to host to kind of piggyback off of the forum that I hosted last in July. And it's going to be like a people over politics, right? And it kind of goes back to this idea that I have, right? What I don't want, because that's the thing that I hear all the time from my peers, is that they're tired of, trying to be sold to. They're trying to feeling like a product, right? That's the thing, when you're going around talking to other politicians, they're asking you to vote, they're, trying to get you on their side. But I think they want to see... They want it to be more personal, right? So this People Over Politics event that I'm trying to host is basically, it's a mixer event, but I have as many candidates as I can to come in and kind of engage with the youth, right? To mix them together, and you'll get like a card or something and have a way for them to have one-on-one conversations, because I know all these leaders, right? I've had a lot of conversations with them one-on-one, like things like the Leaders Over lunch with the leaders episodes. But I want that, I kind of want the, and it goes back again to this idea that I want to inspire all my peers and a lot of the youth around me to find their spark and find their passion. Not, it doesn't have to be a big media thing like me. It can just be, oh man, like our park's broken. Let's go out and pick up the trash kind of thing. Oh, let's go help each other. It's just about helping each other and, the Chamorro culture.
Right. It was funny because both camps asked you, let me ask you something, Genesis.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the challenges that your peers are facing when it comes to, getting involved in not politics, but in voting, right? Why are they not coming out? And you did answer that, right? Because a lot of times they're not seeing what it means to the impact isn't right in front of their face on a daily. Like they're still either living with parents, they're still getting support from their family. You're not paying for health insurance yet. Maybe even your car insurance is not paid by you, right? But then when you start to see all of these compound on you, and you start to realize, wait a minute, the decisions that they're making is affecting me on a daily basis. And so I really appreciate what you're doing too, and finding that angle to make it all about why it's important to engage.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to, with all these events, right? And it's the hard part is figuring out how to get them to engage, right?
Yeah.
Because I was talking about it every time I talk about it with anybody, or even in the series, it's we have our phones, right? And that's like the biggest enemy kind of to all of this, and to a lot of things, because it's easy to be lazy when we have our phones because we have everything at our fingertips.
Right.
We don't have to. You don't have to really get up. Like before you had to, you have to get up. If you wanted to go order pizza, like I was thinking pizza, right? Because we don't have a big Grubhub or whatever the food delivery, like in the Philippines.
Right. We have Good to Go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out sponsor. No, but like we can just order food from our phones. You can just call your friends. You don't have to go out and do that. You can just play all your games on your phone. You can play basketball, 2K20 and stuff. You can do everything, right? You don't really have to go out and do all of this, right? And the hard part is to combat that, right? And get them out there to do all these things. Show them that doing these things in real life is better than just doing it digitally. That's the thing.
What I also appreciate is that you are now working with so many people that do some really good things in the community. I mean, you partner with the University of Guam to put together the youth forum, right? And shout outs to Dr. Anita Borja Enriquez, right?
Yes.
And shout outs to Director Maria Pangilinan over at the Guam Election Commission. And so shout outs to Pono, right? They gave you the facility and the food, right?
Yeah.
And so you're working with so many people in the community. And what I see that you can bring to the table is bringing all of these people that are experts or are decision makers, and they are movers and shakers on the island, and we can all try come together and solve some of the issues that you're talking about.
Exactly.
Right, because none of us have a grasp or a monopoly on all the answers, right?
Yeah.
And so I appreciate also how humble you are when you're working with these people, because these people have been in this community for doing really good work for 30, 40 years, almost all their life.
Yeah.
And you coming in and wanting to lean into their expertise.
Yes,
right?
That's the thing. That's what I want. That's always been my biggest, I wouldn't say goal, but like one of my drives, right, is just meeting these people, building the connections. That's the most important thing, I think, especially not just on Guam, but just in life. It's about the connections you can make. I always tell people that you can't live 100 lives, right? You can't live for 200 years, right? But if you can meet all these people and you can get their experiences, and instead of it's important to fail, right? That's the only way we can learn to succeed, is when you fail and you try again. But when you can get the opinions and the experiences from all these different people, and you kind of put it in your own, into yourself and your ideas, then it really helps perfect and mold whatever we're trying to accomplish. That's what I want. That's why I I'm the number one cold email sender. I probably sent already like 10,000 to different people, right? I probably got like 50 responses, but it's about just reaching out, making the effort to connect.
Sure.
And
No
that's how.
GPT, right? No
Exactly. No, I just asked them, can you give me the email to the 10 top sponsors for something, and I just do it. No, but like just having to Google. That's the thing that people don't realize is that all these. It was funny. So I had a call from I remember his general manager or something from Capriciosa, right? And he's like, how did you get my email? How are you contacting me? I was like, I just Googled you. And I emailed him, and it was about, I forget what it was about. But it's like, that's what, we have everything, right? It's not like I'm not a millionaire that has all these resources to do all these things and stuff, but it's about reaching out and working together with all these people that I'm meeting and, just working together.
And so when we're talking also about how are we addressing some of the challenges, especially with your own peers. I mean, you just graduated from high school.
Yes.
And you faced your own challenges, whether it be at JFK or at or GW, and now graduating and going into college, you're still helping those that are facing some of these challenges with double session, with a situation over at George Washington High School, right? Simon Sanchez is going to have a peace movement, right?
On Sunday, right?
On Sunday. Yeah, and so when you see some of your peers being challenged in that way, are you wanting to use your platform to spread awareness?
Definitely. That's that's the main reason why I do all this, right? Not specifically, it's not specific to education or specific to any group, right? But it's for the youth. It's for my peers, right? A lot of the things that I like to promote, a lot of the partnerships that I work with is so that I can push this, not just information, but these opportunities to my peers and to inspire them. My biggest thing is to inspire, right? Because I can focus on myself and I can become a millionaire or whatever and be like, yeah. But when you do all that and you're just lonely, that's not the life I want, right? I want all these connections. I want to meet these people. I want to help them. I want to see them succeed. There's this kid, Hayden. I think I'm saying his name right. Hayden. I forget his last name. Right? He's a kid from BMS. I don't know. You got to talk to him one day because this kid, he just messages me all the time. He always sends me all these these messages about the Simon Sanchez thing. He's a freshman at Simon Sanchez now.
Okay.
Right? And he writes a bunch of articles, makes a bunch of videos, and he's been pushing for the Simon Sanchez rebuild, right?
Okay.
And I'm always so humbled and grateful every time he messages me and he tells me like, yeah, you inspire me. You do it. Because this is the goal, right? Not to, say, oh, I'm better than him. I started it, right? But that I can get someone like him he can do his own thing. He knows how to reach out, write these articles. He can make big changes, right? And I can be there to assist, kind of like mentor. That's the overall goal, if that made any sense. That kind of.
No, I really appreciate that. I mean, that's, and there's always a connection, right? So if you're mentoring these middle schoolers, who are your mentors?
Man, I wish it was easy to just say one.
No,
right?
It's good to have multiple mentors.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the thing. I like what you brought up about is being in these conversations, right? Because the hardest part for me, I'm a really big cocky guy. I always like, I'm just about
really. I just said that you're humble.
I think I need to come in here.
Genesis is so humble. No, actually, I'm cocky.
No, yeah, that's the thing. But the hardest part for me is, I gotta sometimes sit down, listen, right? Because I have a great, I can't remember it, right? But it's just being able to sit down, listen, let people tell you their experience, right? Even though I've heard it 1,000,000,001 times,
right?
It's like it's still one, it's a reminder, and two, there's always gonna be something that I don't know, right? I forgot. I'm not really good at quotes, right? But there was this quote, right? And it said, the smartest thing you can do is realize that you know nothing. You don't
I've heard it.
Yeah. Well, how does it go?
Yeah. Well, I don't know it verbatim, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
But yeah, to realize that you know nothing.
Yeah.
That
the most important thing you can know is to know that you know nothing.
Over it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Somewhere we gotta Google it. But yeah, that's the thing is that there's so much.
When you think you know everything, you really only you don't know anything.
Exactly. It's even like it just goes back to even just regular life, right? It's like for me, my videos and stuff that I do, like before I'd be recording my video, editing it, reaching out to all these people, and then shooting the video, planning the script, right? But now, I bring in these people that they want to, I have a lot of like younger videographers, like my old classmates and peers and stuff, that they're like, oh, let me help you record this, let me do that, right? And it's like, I like the way I do it. But to kind of give them the reins and help me bring their ideas in, one, it allows me to grow, right? Because, the more people I can bring in and they can help me, it helps me to grow.
Yeah.
But then giving them the platform to help, like, so man, like, I have like some of my videographers and photographers that they're like, yeah, let me just shoot for you. Like, I'll help you for free. Like, I just really want to work with you. I'm like, okay. I bring them on and I bring them to like the big concerts that we do. They go backstage and meet all these people. And then like just last week, they're all shooting for the FIBA tournament that's going on. They get all these stuff. And that's what it's about. It's not just about building myself up. It's about building everybody around me up. Because I don't want to.
You're building community.
That's the thing. Like, I can either build myself up and be at the top, or I can bring everybody up and we can be at the top together. And that's the most important thing.
What do you, I mean, you're already planning the people over politics,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean, are you going to, your team is what, 5, 10 people?
So it's kind of on and off, but I have a solid team of 4
Oh, wow.
people
okay.
that, they help me. So like I have people that, my videographers, photographers, editors, social media manager, they got but so the People Over Politics event is going to be at the community clubhouse in Agana. And it's basically, like I was saying, it's a mixer event, not to bring in the politics, right? The candidates. Sorry.
Well, they are politicians.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it sounds like that can be like a derogatory
Yeah,
term,
it always feels negative.
Right, but I mean, if you normalize it and you understand that these people, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That they're doing this all for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Right, and so you're going to go into that space with that mentality.
Yeah.
Rather than, because you could go into the space and like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to catch you in your lies.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's not what I want to do.
Exactly.
I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. You're doing this for the right reasons. And what are the right reasons? You want a better quality of life. You want better health care for your families and for the people that live here. You want to be able to know that your streets are safer.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And I was listening to the conversation where all 4 of them were talking about the good old days, how they were playing in outside on the road and not worrying about cars, driving unsafely, or, being able to just enjoy your family and the outside, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and you can leave your door unlocked, but that's not what it is today. I don't know if we can ever get back to that, right? But I think we can't lose hope on making Guam what it can be.
Exactly.
We have to keep having those dreams or having those visions and being optimistic.
Yeah.
Because living in hate or living in like negativity is no way to live.
Exactly. That's exactly how it is. And I like how you brought it up, right? Going back to the good old days, because both of the teams, they were talking about it, right? Because I asked them what do they think about having GDOE back under the government's purview, like how it used to be, right? And what they really highlighted, and they not did a good job. They highlighted it, right, when they were talking about it, was that we moved to how we are now because we evolved to it, right? It's like we were solving problems to get to the system we have now. And it's not about going back to how we used to do it, right? But it's about improving from where we are and seeing what's the next best system that we can work on and to have that's going to be efficient. Because back then that was efficient, right? But we've moved into a different time.
Right.
And so now we need a different solution. So I think that was a really good, that's something I always think about. Because because of the T's and Sanchez thing, I was wondering like what's their opinion on the whole issue.
Right.
And so I'm happy that they brought that up.
Yeah, and also it's fair to hold our leaders accountable. I mean, they all have thick skin.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to, especially if you continue to move in this direction, right, and what you're doing. And I think you're in the right headspace. But eventually people will, be offended.
Yeah.
But even for ourselves, we know what we're doing and why we are doing it, and that's what lets me sleep at night. And so for them as well, that we know that they are running for this office for all the right reasons. They want to improve our quality of life, and they have my respect for it.
Yes, that's the
right. And so when we look at some of the issues that you were addressing, when the road wasn't being paved, that access road, you didn't quit on it, right? And you have to call out our leaders to make them, be more accountable. But we got to do it in a respectful way.
Yes, that's the thing. That's what I always, every time I get a lot of messages all over, right? And people come up to me and they're asking me, how do you write an article? How do you make a video? Like, what is your stance? How do you do it? And I always tell them the most important thing is it's about respect, right? Because the leaders, say the benefit of doubt, they want the best for the island. They're putting themselves in this position because they want to improve the island in the way they see fit. And we're reaching out to them because we want to improve our issues, right? We all have the same goal, right? Is to improve, but it's just about having the mutual respect to be professional about it and everything. I think, that's
right, because we can attack the issue. We don't necessarily have to attack the person's character.
Exactly, and that's the thing. That's what I love to highlight is that you can go back, oh, you're fat, you're ugly, all right, you can go at it, and you can say all these things, but at the end of the day, it's like, how is that gonna benefit the situation that we're in now, right? All it's gonna do is you're gonna have bad blood with somebody. It's gonna cut off the connection that you have, and then that's it. You're kind of out of luck.
Ultimately, we're not even solving the problem.
Exactly.
Right.
It's you're just creating another unnecessary drama. Right. And it's better. You can just stay professional. We can focus on what the real issue is and look past our different. And that's the thing too. The hardest part about doing what I do is I encounter so many different personalities. Yeah. I've been reading this book, right, and it talks about the 4 different personalities that different people have and how to open up to different people and communicate. Yeah. Right. Because not everybody is the same. They don't have the same ways of thinking. Right. They're not like me. Like me, I can look at something and then think of something else, and then I go in the whole spiral. Right. Somebody else they're gonna look at that and they're gonna think of whatever that is. And it's about being professional and being able to adapt and work with everybody.
Right. And I can tell that you have your own values. I can tell that you're your own person. And so when when you start to have these conversations, even more so, sometimes people will say, Genesis, you should join our faction or whatnot, right? And that might be happening to you now. I don't know. But you've got a pretty good head on your shoulder. And I don't think that you can be swayed one way or the other.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that the reason why Senator Therese and Senator Tony and others like speaking with you is because they know that that's the kind of space that you're going to provide when they enter the forum with you. They know that that's the environment that they expect it to be like that.
Yeah, it's important. It's important to have the non-party because it's easy to just be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this just because I want to promote the one campaign, right? But then it defeats the purpose of bringing everyone together, because I feel like if you do that, it's selfish. It's not really the real reason. The real reason those people are running because they want to help the island, right? That's what they're supposed to be running for. So it should be, when we do these things, it should be to help the people, not to help one certain group.
Sure. Good for you, man. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? Shout out anybody that has really been working behind the scenes that doesn't necessarily, because there are so many people. Yuli's one of them. Yuli is, we appreciate all the work that Yuli does, and all of our producers like Ryan and Dice, right? And so a lot of times Yuli prefers to be not on camera.
But the backstage.
But at the same time, it's not lost on us of all of his efforts. And so do you have a Yuli? Do you have a Ryan?
Well, if we were sitting here and naming everybody all day, that's the thing, is that I get so many inputs. When I come home from my parents, they watch my
to Genesis parents.
Exactly, yeah.
And his siblings.
Oh, he has some shout outs on the YouTube too.
What can you do? I'm not looking at it right now.
Hold on, I'll bring it up.
Okay. But do you want to shout out anybody?
Like that, and then my team, they work those guys work hard. They have to put up with me at the shoots. They have to put up with all my I can only every time,
because he's not a humble guy.
Exactly. Those guys, they they really put up with it because, man, I don't know how many times, like, especially at this forum, at the, what do we have, the lunch with the leaders?
Yeah.
There were, I'm like thinking of one thing, I'll say something and I'll just kind of stop. Anything there?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Jarina, I believe our politicians need to be educated about service-oriented, transformative, and cross-cultural leadership styles. Chamorro Boy 74 says, Biba Genesis, he's the genesis for change. Jarina says he has an excellent perspective and noble goals. I wish him good health, good fortune, and success. She says, if his young followers learn how to distinguish good leaders from bad ones, he will do well. Keeper, he's all over the place. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that a compliment? That can be. He's all over the place. Oh, like you're everywhere, Genesis.
No, I think, thank you. I love when I see the support. I mean, everybody loves when they see the support, where, you know, in all these comments. But you know what I also love is I love the haters that I get in the comments, right? And I think it takes, like you said, thick skin to take it in, right? Because, you know, when I first started, you get negative comments talking about this and that. And it's like, you know, anybody could be like, I quit. You know, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore. But I think it takes the mentality to realize that these people, I mean, they're you know, hating on you, but it's how do you shift that mentality to be like, okay, they have their own perspective.
Right.
We can, and I have my own perspective. And obviously there's a place where we can both build up, you know, like they say, iron sharpens iron, right? We're both going at it and we're going to come out with the best solution for ourselves and for our island.
Yeah. I think it's steel sharpens steel. Or is it iron art?
Something sharpens something.
Yes.
We'll go with diamonds. Because, you know, diamonds, they're the hardest. Oh, man.
There's something else that I wanted to ask you, but now I forgot too. So, well, I really appreciate, again, what you're doing, you know, and just continue to keep it up. Anytime you want to come in as well, I mean, you're doing your thing, you know, and so I'm a fan of yours. There's so many people that are fans of you, and
thank you.
Yeah, you started with an op-ed and you've really taken technology as well, right? I would just say, like, when it comes to the haters, I think of Will Ferrell, because Will Ferrell, he keeps some of those criticisms, or the critics, especially movies, where they're like, Step Brothers was the worst movie ever. You know, that was, when you watch that movie, that's where movies die. And he keeps it. And he actually is inspired by that. He actually, like, you know what? It's almost like seeing your teacher that told you won't amount to anything, and then 20 or 30 years later, you're like,
hello.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly.
This is where I'm at today.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, even like when I posted the video about the Tizan Sanchez, right? I posted a video and it just kind of went all over the place. I had a bunch of people calling me. They're like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm speaking up about it. What's my solution? Right? And that's how it makes you think, like, yeah, what is the solution? Like, because anybody can go out there, you can complain, you can attack everybody, but it's like, how are we all going to work together? And
well, now the only thing left for you to do, Genesis, is get the other side of the road paved on GW, because that's where everybody's driving.
I know, I got to do that. That's my
get to work, Genesis.
When I go to classes, that's the part. Oh man, but thank you so much for having me. I'm always grateful to be here.
For sure, man. You keep it up, all right?
Yes.
Yeah. And stay humble.
Exactly. That's what I need.
5:55. It's 3:56. Sorry, I was looking at the 5 over there. It's military time. 3:56. We're gonna take this break, right? Because we want to show love to our sponsors, and then Odin Fina tomorrow is just right around the corner. Everybody drive home safe, especially in these road conditions, and be kind to each other, especially on those roads. Be kind to Genesis. There you go.
Thank you.
Wave 105, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Odin Fina tomorrow, presented by the University of Guam. Tomorrow Studies program is coming up next right here on Wave 105.
News, views, and everything Guam cares about. Wave 105.
Introducing the all-new Subway Wraps. Now you can make any footlong a wrap. Light, delicious, and satisfying without weighing you down. Subway Wraps make fueling your day easier than ever with bold flavors and fresh ingredients. Try the cheesy garlic steak wrap today. Subway, eat fresh, feel good.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Half a day, Aganya. The afternoon slump is real. Why wait? Head over to Aganya Shopping Center and cool down with refreshing boba from Cha Time or a sweet shaved ice from Snowberry. Craving something warm and fresh? Follow your nose to the aroma of Cinnabon or a classic bite from Pretzel Maker. And before you head home, stop by SM Island to load up on your favorite sweet and savory snacks for the weekend. With endless parking and a gazillion choices, your perfect afternoon escape is right here at Aganya Shopping Center.
It's time to celebrate Haggadah! Join us for the Cost You Less Haggadah grand opening August 28th through the 30th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of family fun with free giveaways, activities, and amazing savings throughout the store. Be among the first to experience a new Cost You Less designed to bring more value, convenience, and more ways to save. The celebration starts Friday, August 28th. Cost You Less Haggadah grand opening weekend. Don't miss it.
Half a day. I'm Clint Rigel, and I'm running for senator. If you're looking for proven, effective leadership, vote for me, and let's grow Guam together. I'm Clint Rigel, and I approve this message.
Everyone has savings goals. Whatever you're saving for, Bank of Hawaii wants to help you reach your possible. That's why with our Bank Ohana 12-month CD special, you can earn 3.4% annual percentage yield with a minimum deposit of $5,000 from another bank. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So reach your savings goals with our 12-month CD special.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii. For terms and conditions, go to boh.com/CD special.
Our critically injured veterans and first responders are left behind every day because of inadequate wheelchairs. That's why Wheelchairs for Warriors is on a mission to serve America's heroes across the nation and provide them with custom-fit wheelchairs tailored to fit their needs to ensure they're rejoining their lives at the highest level of independent mobility and function possible. From lightweight daily use chairs or adaptive sports chairs to all-terrain wheelchairs to get these warriors outdoors. Wheelchairs for Warriors serves those who served us. To join their mission, visit their website at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
The views and